As a nation, we are still reeling from the tragic event that took place just days ago in downtown Toronto, where so many people senselessly lost their lives. Of course, we're now learning the names and stories of many of the victims. It's impacted me personally. Two of my friends lost people. You know, like, you just don't think it's gonna hit someone that you know, and I see the impact hitting home. They're saying, you know, sometimes I couldn't make time for that person, and now I just regret the fact that I didn't. And reminding us to love those and spend time with people that matter now while we can.
I forget who it was, but somebody on the news says, hug those you love. I love that. So, you know, I don't remember a time when our nation has been so united and grieving. First, the Humboldt tragedy, and now the Toronto attack. This cartoon sums it up so well. I love the visual of this.
Oh, it's
Isn't that great?
Beautiful.
First, we're a hockey nation, and everybody who loves hockey, it seems to unite people. I mean, Team Canada wins, everybody goes crazy. This is uniting us in a completely different way.
Yeah.
People that love this stuff. You've got people opposite ends of the country coming together and holding hands and say, we need to unite. We need a community of love. That's what it's about.
You know, in Toronto, we've seen the worst of what people can do, but at the same time, in both those tragedies, we've seen the best of Canadians as they've really rallied around. And you think about, you know, as time goes on here, people are going to move on. Many people have left Humboldt. The attention's not on it, but the people impacted are still grieving. Let's remember to keep praying for them and doing whatever we can to continue supporting the people who've been impacted by this.
Just when it's over is usually when it's starting for the people that directly are impacted. We need to remember that. I think that's probably one of the biggest keys to these situations, is it's not over when it seems like it's over. We need to keep thinking about those people and praying for them.
Absolutely.
One of our on-air contributors, Sheldon Neal, is at the memorial site, the site of the Toronto van attack. Sheldon, tell us what's going on there right now.
I'm standing here in the place where Alec Manassian drove a rented van southbound on Yonge Street from Finch all the way to Shepherd. As you can see behind me, people from really all around the surrounding area have really come to pay their respects, leaving all types of signs, flowers, really with words of support and, of course, their deepest sympathies. Now, this section of Toronto, this area, is really well-lived, a busy area. I was able to speak to people a little bit earlier who said they're just shocked by what has occurred. They can't believe this would happen in their own community. Of course, this tragedy has left really 10 people dead and 15 people being injured. Now, police will be, as of today and going forward, trying to piece together what exactly happened. Forensic investigations will be going forward. Now, these killings were indiscriminate and reminiscent of, as some would say, similar attacks in Boston, New York, and London. Officials have not called this an act of terrorism as yet, but as I said, further investigations trying to piece together really what is happening here. As you can see, people from the community and media have all really kind of come down on this one area, again, to piece together what has happened. You can see handwritten notes and signs of thoughts and prayers lay at this really makeshift memorial site here. An outpouring of condolences from all over the world have come in as well, and it's really something that has rocked this area. A GoFundMe campaign for the victims has been organized. Now, this site of the attack is under forensic investigations once again. We're looking forward to see what will come about as police begin to continually unravel what has happened here. But for now, people are just trying to piece it all together.
Thanks so much, Sheldon. You know, I saw somebody on my Facebook feed who said that she was going to walk down that strip of Yonge Street that day because it was, you know, it was a beautiful day. A lot of people were out, and she kept feeling like she shouldn't, and she didn't know why. Twice she tried to do it, and so she walked down Finch and said, by the time she got to the library, she had all these frantic texts from her niece saying, "Are you okay?" And when she heard what happened, she said, "I literally fell to my knees in gratitude." And so many people today, you know, grieving, some thankful that they didn't, that they weren't part of it, witnesses, traumatized, all of that. We definitely need to keep this in prayer. And we are so privileged to be a media voice, especially in these dark times. We want to bring you hope and inspiration, and we have all of that for you today. To tell us more, here's Maggie John.
And again, thank you for joining us today. Today's program can be summed up by one word, a word that we love here at 100 Huntley Street: hope. Greg Musselman will join us a little bit later. A young woman shares the hope that she found through 100 Huntley Street. And actress and producer Roma Downey speaks to us about an unexpected illness that rocked her family. We're also going to give you an opportunity to join our family here in spreading the light. That's a little bit later. And speaking of unexpected family illness, the diagnosis of cancer is something none of us wants to hear, and yet just about all of us know someone who has struggled or is struggling with cancer. It's a difficult journey, but there can be hope. Here's Bridget's story.
January 2015. My husband and I were sort of just coming out of 3 years of dealing with, my husband had some pretty debilitating depression and anxiety. And we're sort of just crawling out of this black hole of dealing with all of that. Things were getting great. And then I found this lump in my breast and went to the doctor. She sent me for an ultrasound. And I was coming home from that ultrasound appointment. I was coming home with my 4 kids. And as I was coming in the door, I thought, you know what, we could be dealing with cancer here. And the reality of it really hit me. And I cried out and I said, Lord, what are you thinking? My family needs me. I can't have cancer. What, you know, I have to be the strong one here. And immediately it was as if God answered me. And he said, don't be so arrogant. I'll take care of them. And at that moment, it was like a great weight was lifted off of my shoulders. But then in August 2015, we went in again with, now I had 2 lumps that I had noticed. And then I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. God was bringing us to his word and comforting us through his word. And we read John 16:33, where it says, God says, you know, in this world, I will bring you trouble, but fear not, I've overcome this world. And so I kept sort of seeing this word trouble popping up. And every single time the word trouble popped up, it was with God's assurance that he would deliver us from our distress. Not the trouble, but from our distress. God is near, and that God loves us very, very much. No matter if there's cancer or depression or anxiety or financial woe or marital problems, you know, nothing can separate us from God's love, and that he's got us and he has a wonderful plan for all of us.
You know, I remember when I sat across from Bridget and listening to her story, and I was struck by her strength and being able to say that through the midst of this, that she could rely on Jesus, that she could rely on her faith and know that God would be there for her. I don't know what your faith journey is. I don't know if you believe in God or believe in Jesus, but I want you to know that he loves you and he believes in you. And that's what we want to be able to tell people every single day, that there's a God out there and he loves you so deeply. You know, 1 in 4 people will be diagnosed with cancer. Just about everyone knows someone who has been impacted by this horrible disease. We need to help one another through this journey, and Jesus is alongside with you. You know, if you're struggling with a health issue right now, please do know that our prayer lines are at the bottom of our screen. Our prayer partners are always available to pray with you, journey with you, believe that there can and will be healing in whatever situation you're going through. Will you help us today to make sure that those prayer lines continue to be operating 24/7? Can you help us make sure that those prayer partners are able to provide Bibles, resources every single day? Please consider a financial gift to help this ministry continue strong. With your support, we can continue to bring faith stories of overcoming, just like Bridget's story. So the phone number is at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-265-3100. You can give securely online at crossroads.ca/comealive. We would love for you to join our family, our big family here, by becoming a new monthly partner at any amount, $30 a month or more. Again, the website is crossroads.ca/comealive. And again, right now is the best time to call. Our goal by the end of today is for 100 new monthly partners. You may know her as Monica. We're making a little transition here from the long-running drama series Touched by an Angel, or as Mary, Mother of Jesus in the Bible mini-series. She has recently authored the inspirational book, Box of Butterflies. Of course, we're talking about Roma Downey. Today, she shares about an unexpected illness that rocked her family. Here's Lorna Duick to unpack the story.
Well, Roma Downey is back with us, teaching us lessons from her biography and her devotional life. She's compiled it all in Box of Butterflies. Roma, I want to go to the story of the family that works together, stays together. You take your youngest son, Cameron, you and Mark, to the filming of AD. He's going to learn how to be, you know, a crew hand, a camera operator, all of those things. But he gets sick. Tell us about what begins to happen on what should have been a life-giving trip.
Our youngest son has a great desire to be in the film industry, and he's very talented. And we took him with us to film AD, The Bible Continues. We were shooting in Morocco. And he got sick over there. And at first we just thought maybe it was the food, you know, because sometimes when you're traveling in exotic climate, the food cuisine is a little different. But it soon became apparent that he was much sicker. He had a tumor in his pituitary, and we had to medically evacuate and to get him home. And to tell you it was our darkest day would be maybe an understatement. We were brought to our knees with worry, and we didn't know what the outcome would be. And we just prayed it in. We asked everybody we knew to pray with us. And we really were so grateful that Cameron made a full recovery, and he's back at the career that he wants to be doing. So we really were taken on this journey of you know, a great challenging journey. And if it hadn't been for our faith, Lorna, I don't know how we would have gotten through it.
But you activated something in your faith in this story. You were so frightened for his survival, you called out for prayer in a very public way.
Yes.
Tell us about reaching out for help. You're the couple that looks like you've got everything,
Yes.
but you needed everyone.
We did. Well, we would have given everything that we have if it meant having our son fully restored to us at that time. And I think what became apparent was the helplessness that we felt. And in that helplessness, all that was left was to hand it over to God and say, you know, whatever your will, whatever your plan for our boy is, then of course that's what needs to happen. But we just beseech you that you will be merciful, and that you will grant a miracle, and that you will heal and restore him. And of course with God all things are possible, and we will be eternally grateful that he was restored to us, and that our particular story had a happy ending.
And you would say to those of us in that kind of struggle right now,
I would say, just trust God. You know, he has a plan for your life, or a plan for your loved one's life. And, you know, while it is our nature to try to get in there to do everything we can, and we must. I mean, we reached out, we got the best doctors, we took action as best we could. But then there's a moment where we just have to say, you know, Jesus, we give this to you. And please, you know, hold this for us. And of course, he always does.
all right, Roma Downey, thank you for sharing your very personal stories and how you brought them to Jesus. We'll let you know how you can get your copy of Box of Butterflies.
But God is so rich in mercy. He loves us so much. He gave us life when he raised Christ from the dead. By God's grace, we have been saved.
This is the great news of the gospel. This is the news that we passionately proclaim in every program, every piece of faith-inspiring media content we create and broadcast far and wide.
As media missionaries, we exist to be leading storytellers of faith, love, hope, joy, and peace, inviting every person to come alive through life-transforming faith in Jesus Christ.
Every week, almost 1.5 million people are touched by our programs on TV and online.
Every month, 4.4 million minutes of our content is watched on YouTube.
Every week, more than 7,500 people call our 24/7 prayer line seeking hope and help.
This year alone, almost 1,000 people have decided to come alive and follow Jesus. That's up 34% from last year.
Think about this impact. Think about how critical it is to have a strong, credible Christian voice in our media today. Yes, God surely is using the power of media to change lives.
Do you want to play a vital role in this outreach media mission that's reaching so many who need Jesus so much? You can by becoming a Media Mission Monthly Partner. Your regular monthly gift of any amount will fuel our media missionary team to keep sharing the great news of Jesus with millions of people every month.
When you become a monthly partner or increase your existing monthly pledge, as our thank you, we'll send you a copy of the new book, Box of Butterflies by Roma
Roma Downey, along with 10 Butterfly Encouragement note cards you can send to those who could use a lift in their spirits and journey. Become a monthly partner today, and you'll also receive our popular bi-monthly magazine Reach. Call 1-800-265-3100 or make your donation online at crossroads.ca/comealive.
A huge thank you to everyone who's signed up to become a monthly partner. And I love that piece right there because honestly, every one of those voices is familiar to me. Those are the voices of all the people who are media missionaries with us here, people that you will never probably see, that work behind the scene, work on weekends, work on nights, that are just passionate about this mission to bring hope to Canada. And it just inspires me to hear every one of their voices. I'm like, oh, thank you, God, for them.
You know, I want to go back to the Roma Downey interview. I love the fact that she wanted to tell the story and we wanted to tell her story of the tragedy of life that happens. Often people want to sugarcoat it sometimes, say, come to Jesus and everything's going to be fine. Sometimes our lives go...
It's not?
I know, it's crazy to understand that.
Disillusioned.
But to tell somebody's story of what Jesus does in the midst of the journey and how he walks through the trials with us, that to me brings hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want this false, come and everything's going to be great.
No.
Sometimes it's not.
We all
and
go
Jesus
through
meets
stuff.
us there, right?
That's what we need to know.
That's
what we
the
need
hope.
to know in the dark place is that we can have hope and we can have the presence of God and the comfort of his Spirit with us. Well, you guys are helping us bring that every day across this nation. We want to give a huge thank you to Anne from St. Rose de Lac, Manitoba, $20 a month. Anne from Regina, $30 a month. Margot from Burnaby at $20 a month. And Margaret from Brampton at $15 a month.
We've got Kathy from Newmarket at $15 a month. Catherine from Godfrey at $20 a month. And if you're hearing these names, you say, I want to be part of this. Would you join our family? We need more monthly partners at the amount of $30 a month, $50 a month. Maybe you can only do $15. That's fine. Come and be a part of this. Our goal is by the end of today is 100 new monthly partners. Call 1-800-265-3100 or go to crossroads.ca/comealive. When you give, we'd like to thank you by sending you this wonderful book, Box of Butterflies, for your support. It continues for us to help you bring hope. That's what we're so excited about. We love that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all you do. Let's go over to Maggie with someone who found hope through this ministry.
I'm here with Sohala Corton. And Sohala, 100 Huntley Street really impacted your life. Tell us how.
Yeah, it was incredible. When I first got saved, when I was 17 years old, I would watch 100 Huntley Street all the time. Every day, anytime it was on. It was the only source that I had that would feed me and allow the Christ in me to grow, because nobody in my family was a Christian. So that was the only way I could get a Jesus fill without anyone being home. Or if I wanted to go to church and my parents were like, no, we have the car today, you can't have it. It just really blessed me. It showed me that, I could be at home and watch the program and just feel that need. If I needed help with anything, I called the prayer lines and had them pray with me. And so it was just such a huge blessing that got me through one of the most amazing moments of my life, know.
What would have happened if Huntley Street wasn't on television?
I think I would have fizzled out. I think absolutely, because at that early young stage of being a new Christian and not being plugged into a church, I honestly would have fizzled out. I think I would have either backslidden and just not turned my back from the Lord, but not taken it as seriously and as deeply as the show showed me and the impact that it had on my life.
So what would you say to partners that are watching who have invested in 100 Huntley Street over the years to make sure that it is on TV?
I would say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because their contributions completely blessed people like me. And if I'm out there, there's going to be people like me out there too who are seeking the Lord, and without 100 Huntley Street, it just would not be possible. It really wouldn't be.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sohala.
Thank you for having me.
We hear those stories from so many people across the country where this is their church. So, for whatever reason, they can't get out to church. Sometimes it's a physical thing. And this is the place where they learn about God. They get introduced to him and they grow in him. And so we don't want to replace church. We believe in the local community that seeds into your faith. But if you can't get out there, man, it's good to have 100 Huntley Street.
And we've got people from coast to coast that are stepping up and saying, I want to partner. We've got Patricia from West Vancouver at $15 a month. Thank you. Donna from Richmond Hill, $50 a month. Lorraine from Fort Simpson for $15 a month. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love that.
Yeah, and if you've been blessed by this program ever, if it's ever done anything good for your life, we need you to join us. If you're already a donor, would you consider on increasing your monthly partnership? We would love that. Or if you've never given, a monthly partnership helps us have good financial stewardship, keeps our foundation strong. Our founder, David Maines, believes so much in this. He always said that monthly partnership is what we need to survive. So thank you for all you do. do. And if you haven't done anything, please consider joining our family. That number you can call right now. There's a few people free over here. There's some of them that I recognize. It's 1-800-265-3100, crossroads.ca/comealive.
We want to continue to share these amazing stories with you. We would love to have 100 new monthly partners by the end of today. Would you join us? With some words of hope, here is Greg Musselman.
In order to come alive in our relationship with Jesus, or to stay alive in our walk with Him, is to be in close contact with the Lord. That's, of course, done through prayer, reading, and studying the Bible. And we want to make resources available to you each and every day here at 100 Huntley Street, the guests that we have on the program, the books that we want to get into your hands, so you can grow in your faith. Now, it's also very important to remember we have the relationship, certainly with Jesus, but other Jesus followers, and they will encourage you in your walk. You can't do this thing alone. God did not create us to be alone. He created us to be in community. Now, here's what the Apostle Paul said. Now, he's getting near the end of his life. He's writing this very important letter to a young man named Timothy, who he was mentoring. It says in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 5 to 8, I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am now persuaded now lives in you also. So Paul was telling Timothy, you had a godly heritage. Your grandmother, your mother, they knew God. For this reason, because of that godly heritage, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. So there's that personal connection between Paul and Timothy. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. So do not be ashamed of the testimony about our Lord or me, his prisoner. Rather, join me in suffering for the gospel by the power of God. So our goal this week and every day is to fan into flame the gift of God that lives in you, that lives in me, so that we'll be passionate about the things of God. You know, when I think about when I first became a Christian in the spring of 1982, it was an amazing adventure. In fact, I probably was one of those maybe annoying Christians. I was working at a television station there. It was all about Jesus, and I found religion and I found faith. And of course, I realized that religion was about a relationship with Jesus, but I was on this new trajectory. My life was totally changed. Were there disappointments along the way? Absolutely. You know, working in the church, working with people can be frustrating for me, for them, because we bump into each other, we collide. But we want to continue to encourage each other, to fan into flame, to be everything that God wants you to be. I often say at weddings, when I'm doing a ceremony, I say to the husband and to the wife, your goal now is to make your wife, saying to the husband, everything that God wants her to be, and vice versa. When you join us at 100 Huntley Street, you're helping us to help people in their walk with God. We want to be here each and every day to help people in their spiritual journey. And when you become a partner, you help us to make that possible.
Thanks, Greg. And again, we need your support to make sure that we have great, solid Bible teaching. As you know, Robbie Simons usually brings Bible teaching to us. Greg Musselman is today. Again, the phone number is at the bottom of your screen, 1-800-265-3100. And you can give securely online at crossroads.ca/comealive. Now, Kevin, you're over there with a familiar face.
Yeah, I wanted people to see, look at, from See, Hear, Love. Here's Melinda. She's on the phone. She wants to hear from you. Yes. We've got Nicole, Amy, our own CFO, Jack, is here. They're talking to people. They're saying, call me now. Yes. Call 1-800-265-3100 or go to crossroads.ca/comealive. But they're looking for your call right now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
And some of those people have been calling. Thank you so much, Ruth. You made that call. And thank you so much for your monthly donation. Irene from Sherwood Park. Thank you so much, Irene. And Kathy from Owen Sound. Thank you so much for your monthly donation.
We've got Lori from LaSalle, an increase from $150 a month to $165 a month. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that.
And when you give, we'd like to thank you by sending you a copy of Roma Downey's inspirational new book, Box of Butterflies. Your support helps us to continue to bring hope, encouragement, and Bible teaching into your lives every single day. Thank you.
But God is so rich in mercy. He loves us so much. He gave us life when He raised Christ from the dead. By God's grace, we have been saved.
This is the great news of the gospel. This is the news that we passionately proclaim in every program, every piece of faith-inspiring media content we create and broadcast far and wide.
As media missionaries, we exist to be leading storytellers of faith, love, hope, joy, and peace, inviting every person to come alive through life-transforming faith in Jesus Christ.
Every week, almost 1.5 million people are touched by our programs on TV and online.
Every month, 4.4 million minutes of our content is watched on YouTube.
Every week, more than 7,500 people call our 24/7 prayer line seeking hope and help.
This year alone, almost 1,000 people have decided to come alive and follow Jesus. That's up 34% from last year.
Think about this impact. Think about how critical it is to have a strong, credible Christian voice in our media today. Yes, God surely is using the power of media to change lives.
Do you want to play a vital role in this outreach media mission that's reaching so many who need Jesus so much? You can by becoming a Media Mission monthly partner. Your regular monthly gift of any amount will fuel our media missionary team to keep sharing the great news of Jesus with millions of people every month.
When you become a monthly partner or increase your existing monthly pledge, as our thank you, we'll send you a copy of the new book, Box of Butterflies by Roma Downey, along with 10 butterfly encouragement note cards you can send to those who could use a lift in their spirits and journey. Become a monthly partner today, and you'll also receive our popular bi-monthly magazine Reach. Call 1-800-265-3100 or make your donation online at crossroads.ca/comealive.
And thank you so much to everyone who is responding. There's a few more people available. I noticed Melinda was on the line, so that's good.
Right?
You know, you think about like when you give, what does that money do? And one of the things that it does is it fuels our prayer lines. For us, this is the heart and soul of what we do. It's two-way television. We can present all kinds of good news to you, but some of you guys, you just need to talk to someone and unpack what's happening in your life. Find hope. Get someone to pray with you. And we get 30,000 phone calls a day.
Wow.
A day. But you know what else happens? 8,000 phone calls go unanswered. We cannot keep up. The demand is growing by the month. And so we have plans for new technology. We want to train more people. We want to make sure that not one call is forgotten. Don't worry, many of those people leave messages and we do call them back. We are committed, but we need your help to grow those prayer lines. Will you join us today?
And you can do that by calling 1-800-265-3100 or giving securely online at crossroads.ca/comealive. There are some of our operators that are available right now, so it's a perfect time to call 1-800-265-3100. You have some
But I do. I want to thank Doreen from Pitt Meadows. Another increase. She went from $50 to $70 a month. That's incredible. Linda from Maple Ridge, another increase from $20 to $35. Thank you for doing that. That's incredible partnership.
And Elaine from Prince George, $20 a month. Thank you so much, Elaine. And Ruth. Oh, we've thanked Ruth again. We're going to thank you again, Ruth.
We really like Ruth.
I really like you, Ruth.
We're so grateful for Ruth. Thank you so much for all you do. Those phone lines will be up after the program. It ends all day long that you can call. Maybe you need to talk to your spouse about how much you want to increase that monthly gift or what you want to give. Do that. Thank you for all you do. That number again, 1-800-265-3100, crossroads.ca/comealive.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a member of the Canadian Council of Christian Charities. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R 4M2.
Media. This medium. Curated, created, constructed, and colluded to communicate, to influence, to connect, and entertain. With ease, with speed. Over 7 billion people yearning to connect, yearning to be fed, always looking out for whatever's cool, whatever's funny, whatever's trending. The medium is the message, but are we receiving the message? When everything is constantly moving, constantly changing, there is one thing that will not change, one thing that will outlast our lives, one thing that lasts longer than time itself, one thing that knows no bounds, no status, no color.